Hey there, I've been hearing a lot about bits, bytes, throughput, and processing speed in my IT course, but honestly, it's a bit confusing. Can you break it down for me?
Absolutely. These are essential concepts in IT, especially if you're heading into networking or systems administration. Let's walk through them step by step. Today, we're going to cover three main things: storage units, throughput units, processing speed. Does that sound good?
Perfect. Let's start with storage. How do computers actually store data?
Great question. At the most basic level, computers use binary data that's just ones and zeros. Every tiny piece of data is stored as a bit, which stands for binary digit. A bit is either a 1 or a 0.
Right, I've heard of that. But what's a byte then?
A byte is made up of 8 bits. Think of a byte as the basic building block for storing small amounts of data like a single letter or character. So if you type the letter A on your keyboard, that's stored as a byte.
Okay, that makes sense. But files are way bigger than one letter.
Exactly, and that's where we use larger units. Instead of saying a file is 5,000 bytes, we simplify it using terms like kilobyte equals about 1,024 bytes. Megabyte equals about 1 million bytes. Gigabyte equals about 1 billion bytes. Terabyte equals about 1 trillion bytes. These are multiples of bytes, just like we say kilometers instead of 1,000 meters.
Cool. So that's storage. But how do we measure data moving across networks?
Excellent question. When data moves like streaming a video or sending an email, we're talking about throughput. This refers to how fast data travels across a network. Now here's a key difference. Storage is measured in bytes. Network throughput is measured in bits per second, written as BPS.
Wait, so it's bits again? Lowercase b?
Yes. That's really important. Lowercase b stands for bits. Uppercase B stands for bytes. So if your internet speed is listed as 100 megabits per second, that's 100 megabits per second, not megabytes.
Got it. And how do I figure out how many bytes that is?
Simple, just divide the bits by 8. So if your connection is 100 megabits per second, that's about 12.5 megabytes per second MBPs.
Wow, that makes sense. So, are there other units for faster speeds?
Absolutely. Just like with storage, we scale throughput units up. kbps kilobits per second, mbps megabits per second, gbps gigabits per second, tbps terabits per second, usually seen in high-performance data centers. Right now, we don't use pbps petabits per second. That is because no networks are quite that fast, yet.
Okay, last one, how do we measure how fast computers actually think?
That's where processing speed comes in. Computers process data using their CPU, or central processing unit. The CPU has a tiny internal clock that ticks incredibly fast, millions or even billions of times every second. We measure this speed in hertz.
So like a clock? 1 tick per second?
Exactly. 1 hertz equals 1 tick per second. 1 megahertz equals 1 million ticks per second. 1 gigahertz equals 1 billion ticks per second. Modern processors typically operate in the gigahertz range, meaning they can perform billions of operations per second.
So every tick is like one calculation?
Yes. And we call those tick cycles. More cycles per second mean a faster processor. Let's review. We measure storage using bits and bytes, network speed using bits per second BPS, Processing speed using hertz. And don't forget, 1 byte equals 8 bits. Lowercase b equals bits. Uppercase b equals bytes.
This clears up so much. I finally understand the difference between how we store, send, and process data.
Great to hear. Understanding these units is critical.